Passion Jesus 28. Was Barabbas a military messiah chosen by the Jews? 4 minutes. English traduction, corrected by Peter Gavigan, of Passion Jesus 28. Did Pilate try to save Jesus by presenting Barabbas to the crowd? So the Gospels tell us so, by tradition. St. John shares this very briefly because the others also insist upon it. Each year, on the feast of the Jewish Passover, the Roman procurator used to release a prisoner upon acclamation of the crowds of people, a chosen prisoner. So on that day, there had been 2 high-level prisoners. There were also other bandits, prisoners, who had been crucified along with Jesus. They had been petty thieves, so high-level prisoners, that means zealots, for example, political prisoners. So Pilate had decided to present them to the crowd. In order to liberate Jesus, they should necessarily liberate Jesus, as he did no harm. He had healed thousands of people. The other prisoner was called Barabbas. No doubt an assassin, a zealot, a sicary, individual who attacked a Roman soldier in the crowd, stabbed him, then mingled with the crowd, shouting murder, murder, and so that one may stop him. Maybe that's just it. Barabbas had been an assassin and also a plunderer. What is truly the deep temptation of the Jewish people is that, in fact, they ought to choose between 2 messiahs. Because in prophecy there are 2 ways of reading these issues. Firstly, like the Anawims, the poor of God, Yahweh, say to themselves, the Messiah will be a humble man who will bear our sufferings, as the prophet Isaiah says in chapter 53, we will believe in him as he delivered himself for our sins. In fact, it will be our sins he will bear. We despised him. He no longer had a human face, but it was a face that bore our sufferings that he bore on our behalf. Otherwise, according to the literal text, when we read it, he will be great, he will be a king, he will graze his people with an iron scepter, therefore an energy, a sword, he will conquer the whole world and his enemies will bow down before him. Barabbas had been another possible messiah. Pushed by the crowd with all the ignorance that accompanies this, and with stupidity, and also those who desired to have some fun, those who had understand nothing, they cheered on for Pilate to release Barabbas for them. So after Pilate had done everything, he tried to flatter them by saying, "You do not want me to set you free, the King of the Jews, your king." And they cry out, "No! Free Barabbas! Crucify him, crucify Jesus!" Obviously, pushed by those who hated Jesus, and they were often infiltrators that they had rounded up that morning, namely certain high priests of the temple. What does this text mean? May all our old men among us, who desire a returning of Jesus, that he be a political king. It is millennialism, which establishes the kingdom that we prefer upon earth, that will last 1,000 years. He is the old man and we prefer that, and when we hear that the king, the real king who is coming, will reign by the manifestation of his sacred heart, his humility, his love, only the part hidden within us which is hardly visible but which is made for eternity, shouts, "It is Jesus that we want! It is Jesus!" In appearance, the Barabbas always wins in this world. This is the world of glory, of the power, but, hidden within our hearts, it is always Jesus Christ who wins, except for a few individuals who, until the hour of death, face his appearance in his glory. He who is heartbroken, rejects him, Jesus, and freely chooses to follow Barabbas, Lucifer. In fact, in hell, this hell of glory, of solitary freedom that he offers for eternity.